Ranon's It's like a Lady Gaga song. What is going on, guys? It is 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was thinking about all these super intricate stuff, and I'm like, I want to just make a fun, silly video. Nothing really too serious. So what I wanted to do today is go over the 3-star artifacts, the things that everyone has. Pretty much anyone can have them all maxed out by now, but more specifically, I wanted to make a top 5 list. And no, this is not like a end-all be-all list. It's just my specific list, and I want to know what your guys' specific list by the end of it. You can leave it in the comments. If this is on Reddit, most likely it will be. Leave it in the Reddit. I'll be everywhere. I'm just kind of curious. What is the top 5 3-star? Because 4 stars are specified to classes, so it's kind of hard to be like, oh, El's Fist is the best one. And it's like, yeah, maybe if you have a warrior. And obviously the same thing for 5-star. They're all specified to classes, but the 3 stars are not. So anyone can use these. It doesn't matter. It just depends on like what build you want to go and like things of that nature. So I'm kind of curious on what is your top 5. Starting at number 5, I'm gonna go with the Starting at top 5, we're gonna go with my English dictionary. Exorcist Tonfas. I don't know why I was thinking like extortionist or something like that. I'm gonna use the 3 a.m. excuse on that one. I really like this artifact because it does damage as long as they have 50% more health, and for most people, as you can see, it's 16% when it's maxed out. I feel like that is really good, and I think for any attacker, that's gonna be like a really good thing to have. I feel like it doesn't drop as often, and it's like one of the 3-star ones that I don't see as often. And I was like, you know what? When I looked at it, I actually think it's better than the 4-star version, which is the knife, the L something's knife. And I was like, I think it's kind of better than that, because that one pierces defense, which is nice, which is obviously good. It will help you fight tanks. But I was thinking the Tonfas, on the other hand, just help your damage overall. It doesn't seem to matter whether or not, you know, who is it on. You can put this on a, you know, a max HP scaling character. It doesn't really matter. Anyone can do this because it just increases their damage. It doesn't increase attack or anything specified like that. I mean, the other one just penetrates defense. But I think if I had to go by top 5, this would be my 5th pick. I think it's like the one of the better ones of it, and I like it way more than Ancient Sheath too. All right, next up is actually going to be the Envoy's Pipe. Now, the reason why I really like this specific one is because the 20% decrease on damage once you are at, like, once you've lost half your health is actually pretty good. I think it's really one of the slept on kind of artifacts for like a, maybe like a tank, depending on the tank. Like, you could definitely put, like, I would love to see that on like a Crow or one of your super duper tanks, but any character that needs to stay alive, especially they got chunked out a little bit, or they slowly, let's say they're already tanky and they just, now it's even harder. It just becomes even harder to take them out because they're taking 20% less damage, and if they're already taking not that much damage in the first place, I think that's actually that's actually crazy. I really think that this is a slept on artifact, and because a lot of the other artifacts, they like increase your attack or defense when your HP is low. This one, especially on a, like I said, on a support or a tank, will make them crazy tanky, or you can even put it on an attacker. But the problem is that most attackers in this game were just looking for them to do more DPS. So, you know, even though yes, it would keep your K-Ron alive a little bit longer, it's like, do you really care? Probably not. So I don't know. It's just slept on, but I think that as far as the other artifacts, I think it would be a better go-to on a support and a tank than anything else that other people are running, except the other ones that I'm going to mention a little bit further. But I think it's definitely my 4th pick. This is actually harder than I thought. So number 3, I'm going to come in with the Aqua Rose. I like the Aqua Rose because it does give a buff to your character, and it scales off the max HP, and it can keep happening over and over and over again. you know, for again supports and tanks, this is definitely not something you're gonna put on an attacker. The attackers are always gonna benefit more from anything that has to do with DPS and probably the 4-star and the 5-star artifacts. But as a 3-star artifact, I do think that the supports and the tanks benefit more from them than anyone else. So I do like the Aqua Rose because it allows you to be a little bit more tanky. You're getting a free shield. I had said on the Kayron video that, and the Kayron, not only the Kayron, oh, there is no Kayron video, sorry. I've speculated it would be decent on Kayron because it gives him a free buff, but I've speculated that it also would be good on Deanne because it gives her a free buff, more, you know, when she might not have a buff on, you know, stuff like that. And like I said, 10% of max health is not the most if I were to do the math, and I'm not going to do the math, but let's say that you have a tank that has 10,000 HP. I think that's a... God, I should really do the math. Okay, I was thinking... Okay, so you got 10,000. I had to rip out the calculator. I'm embarrassed. No, I'm not. I am definitely years out of school, and being able to do quick math is only good if it's money. So yeah. No, it's not. I'm kidding. But 10,000, you have around 10,000 HP. You're getting 1,000 shield, which is pretty good because, you know, on a tanky-ish character that has that much HP, my Deanne currently has about 10,000 HP. So she would get 1,000 HP she can get it every 2 turns, for a 50% chance, plus, you know, when she already doesn't have her shield. So it seems like it's pretty good. And same thing with Kayron, to get a nice little shield. His HP is not going to be that high, but it's a nice little shield and allows him to do his buff. And I mean, that's not every character in the game, but it shows that it works really good with certain kits that really need a buff in their thing. And plus, it's just overall, I think it's really good for the 3-star artifacts. It's really hard to judge like a 3-star artifact because you know the 4 and the 5 exists. Number two, Ranon's it's like a Lady Gaga song. Memorandum. I think it's memorandum. There are words that I've heard that I've seen I've never heard before. Now we know this artifact is dirty. It's not as good later on in the game, especially that it's not that it loses its love and luster in arena, because in arena you don't even want to bother with something that's gonna, you know, take so long to stack. That's why I didn't go with the descending axe, because it just takes too long to stack. But for a character like a support, again, like I said, the sports are really where the 3-star artifacts shine, or it's the speed units especially, which is there are a lot of speed units people use. This is great because it just gives you a lot of buffs. The problem with it being on supports, however, is that it only activates when you do an attack, and it does not count towards your, you know, your buffing moves, your healing moves. At least not that I've seen, unless, you know, but it says here it doesn't, so I've never put it. I always put it on a speed-based character attacker. But if people have seen it in action, and it's crazy. It's just like turn on a Silk, on a Sid, and like it just ramps up. And it, obviously, as you can see, 2% stack up to 10 times. And for like labyrinth dungeons, the stacks stay. So it's just like you can just have this super sped up crazy monster and PvE content, which is, in my opinion, super important. And I think that it's nothing to be, and there's no other there's no 4 or 5-star artifact that's gonna give a character a 20% speed boost. That is effectively, if I'm not mistaken, that is effectively a rune set that it gets, and you're just having him with most likely your speed unit with a double rune set going off the chain. So I definitely think Ranon's is one of the best 3-star artifacts, and definitely not to be slept on as far as like, let me put this on a character. And yes, you can even put it on a non-speed character just to give them more speed, but again, you probably have something better up the sleeve. But I do think that this one is pretty good for the labyrinth runs, for any extended until you get, it's really good for like your hunts and your spirit altars for certain characters that are going to just attack a lot and will just eventually get that 20% boost, and then they'll just be super fast and can finish stuff off. So I respect it. I'm putting it as number 2. Like I said, this is really hard. If you guys want, I could try to do the 4 or 5 stars, but it's just really hard because of how specified they are to each class. I can maybe do one for each class. We can do a top 5 for each class. I don't know. I feel like there's 5. I think there's at least 5 in each one, and then we could just do for each. I don't know, or top 3. We could do top 3 or something. Let me know in the comment section what you guys would like. But we are now gonna go into number 1, and if you guys know me, this was probably like, oh, I already know it's number 1. Come on, bro. There's only one. There's one specific artifact that is good no matter what. If you have it, max it. It's done. It's literally, in my opinion, the best. It doesn't matter who has it. You could put it on an attacker. You won't see it on an attacker. But it's just literally like the best artifact. And of course, we are talking about the candlestick. The stick of the candle. This thing is broken. It's so good. 40% chance to reduce cooldowns by 1 turn when attacked. Can be activated once per turn. This thing is busted. It's so good. There's reducing cooldowns is just phenomenal, and to have the ability, especially for a frontline character that has decent speed, doesn't really have to have like the most speed, but to lower the cooldowns, get a turn, and then do it again and constantly do it again. This is bananas on supports, frontline supports specifically. They just keep recycling their heals or their buffs, their cleanses, over and over and over again. It's a nightmare on Crow. I swear to God, I don't want to see a Crow with like lowered cooldowns S3s. It's a nightmare. Crazy. Don't even want to think about it. And then you're not gonna see it on an attacker too much. They're rather gonna run the Tonfas or the Ancient Sheath. They're gonna run stuff like that if they're gonna look for a S3. Sorry, not S3, a 3-star artifact. They're gonna run stuff like that, but it could work on some attackers. Like I wouldn't mind it on Kron or people that have those long cooldowns on some of their skills. They're gonna get hit by like AOE's, but most it's weird. Again, most of this stuff, support tank units, are where some of the best artifacts lie. There are some you can combat with some of the 4-star artifacts. But this one specifically, I don't think that you'll ever be disappointed with it. The other ones you might be, as far as what I could tell, but like 40% to reduce your cooldowns just because you got hit. Doesn't matter how much the hit did. It didn't matter if it chunked you or you lost half health or anything. You can take 100 damage and then your cooldowns are not reset. Woof. That would make that's the 4-star artifact. I wish that exists, but actually no, there is a 5-star artifact that does that. The Scepter, I think. They just get a chance to lower their cooldowns every turn, which is crazy. But 40% every time you get attacked. I think that's amazing. And yeah, that's it. Some honorable mentions. Let's see some honorable mentions. I did want to think about the Daydream Joker. I know a lot of people like this one because they say it's like it helps like kill bosses. But I just never thought it did much damage. I think when I did the math, and as you know, me and my calculator are best friends, it didn't seem like this would ever do good damage. I guess unless it's like a specific boss and maybe something that like has double hitting or something like that. I don't know. I just feel like you're gonna be using poison or bleed or something like that, and this thing is just gonna become irrelevant because it deals extra damage equivalent to like it's just extra damage. It doesn't. I feel like this is just like it's gonna tack it on, so it doesn't like. Depending on the health, the HP of the boss or whatever like that, it just tacks that on, whatever 3% of that is, which could still be good. So I don't know. I know a lot of people like the Daydream Joker, and they're probably pissed that I didn't put it on my top 5, but it's fine. Another honorable mention that I know a lot of people like would definitely be, where is it? Actually, I wonder if there's someone that might use the Grail of Blood. The Grail of Blood seems like it's actually decent, like on an attacker that you want to sustain, like maybe like a farmer. But I've never seen anyone actually use it, so not really sure about that. Mighty Yashka is something that people use in the beginning. Ascending Axe is definitely, I think, some people. You see this on like a lot of warriors. You get once it's stacked up, it's 30% crit chance for free, It just takes a little bit long to stack, so you know that's why you might see people not using it. Curse Compass is actually not that bad either, 50% increased effectiveness when attacking on the first turn though. So you have to have a unit that's already fast to utilize this. At least I felt like it goes by the actual first turn of the match. It's not like it's not like the first turn of your first turn. It says the first turn. So you have to have a really fast unit plus this, and then, you know, obviously you can bring an AoE defense breaker with that. You know, it's, you know, pretty good. But that's just my top 5. What is your top 5? And I would really love to know. I'll be in the comment section and you got to keep your mistakes in your videos sometimes, because it just really shows, you know, it really shows the editing, the not like lack of editing, but it shows like, you know, this is not easy to do if you want it to be perfect. But we're not perfect, and that's why I like to showcase that I'm not perfect. I'm gonna fuck up every once in a while, you know, and hiding it sometimes is, I think, a bad thing. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're new. If you hit the bell, smack the bell, or, you know, choke the bell, whatever people smash that like button, uppercut it, sure you can the damn thing, whatever. Also, if you want, the Patreon link is going to be in there as well. I've been watching some Dark Souls 3. I might do Dark Souls 3. Let me know in the comment section, you know, if anything, if you guys want to see a Dark Souls 3 playthrough without it. The stretch goal in the Patreon is for me to do a soul level 1, but I kind of want to just do a regular playthrough, like a challenge playthrough. That's not a soul level 1, but like maybe like something stupid. I don't know. Let me know. That's up to you guys. But again, like I always will say, shout outs to Tachi and Isaac. You guys are my first 2 patrons, and I can't wait to shout out more people in the future. But to now, you guys are the solo 2 saints of the channel. I need to go to sleep.